Spirit Sports Consultants presents
NFL Week 8 Best Plays and All Game Picks. This video is the second of two that we put out. We put out the first one on Monday. Give you our score estimates. Now that injuries have kind of stabilized, the lines are a little bit more formalized, we're going to give you our best plays and finalize our picks. Since the Thursday game's already been played, we'll start out with the Houston Texans at the Carolina Panthers. It's not quite midway for the season, but it's not too early to mention C.J. Stroud as a candidate for Offensive Rookie of the Year. He did great considering how thin the Texans had been due to injuries on the offensive line. So we've got the Texans winning this game 24-17. We do think the Panthers might be able to slow them down a little bit, but not enough. Texans take this one. Odds as a Friday morning, Texans -3. The totals number is 43.5. Look at that. We think the under could be a decent play. But for our best play, we're going to buy that 3 down to 2.5. Take the Texans -2.5 as the play. Rams at the Cowboys. Looking at the Cowboys' offensive statistics, they're a little bit concerning. They're middle of the pack in the NFL, and their red zone struggles have been well documented. But we do feel that with their pass defense, they should be able to slow down the pass-heavy LA Rams and take this one 27-17. Hopefully, those red zone issues will improve for them. The nerd corner stat that we like here is the fact that the Rams put up 253 passing yards per game. Dallas pass defense only allows 177, so we see that Rams number coming down. Looking at the lines, we've got the Cowboys -6.5. The totals numbers at 45, a little bit high in our opinion. But our best play, we again buy that 6.5 down to 6. Take the Cowboys -6 as one of our best plays of the day. Week. Minnesota at Green Bay, NFC North Division rivalry. This game exemplifies why we've started to push our best plays videos to later in the week. This Friday, we're going to push this out because going into this, we had Green Bay picked. We thought the Packers had bounced back. Instead, we're going to take the Vikings 28-21 for the following reasons. If we look at the yardage numbers, it looks good for the Packers, right? The Vikings, 280 passing yards. Packers only allow 195, but their key cornerbacks are out, including Pro Bowler Jair Alexander. So with that, we look at the Vikings -1.5. The over-under number 42.5. For our best play, we're going to take the Vikings -1.5. And before we continue, if you would, just join our channel. And if you like this video or find it useful, like it and then subscribe. We provide weekly NFL picks, highlights, and sports travel. Thank you. Next up, we have the Saints at the Colts. And safe to say there's no Drew Brees or Peyton Manning in this game. Last week against the Jaguars, Derek Carr really struggled. We were impressed with the fourth quarter surge. Not sure if that's going to carry over into this game, but we love the pass defense for the Saints. And we think with Gardner Minshew making mistakes, he's very interception pro. We think that's going to be enough for the Saints to take this one. If you look at the yardage, the Colts 237 passing. Saints allow only 187. That should bring the number down. So with the Saints favored by 1, totals number 43.5, we recommend you take the Saints here as a best play, -1 on the road over the Colts. Patriots at the Dolphins, and this is one of our classic technical setups. We call it a double technical, a team that comes off what we think was a lucky win, the Patriots, against a team with a tough loss, the Dolphins at the Eagles. We think the Dolphins rebound here, 31-14. I'm sorry, 10 penalties to nothing. Dolphins at the Eagles, that was not right. I'm not going to say it was fixed, but that was garbage. We like the Dolphins here, -9.5. I think the best play, but get that number down to 9. Also, maybe look at the totals. We don't think the Patriots are going to score that much, and Belichick could slow down the Dolphins. Jets at the Giants. Giants are the home team, but effectively a home game for the Jets as well. We like the Jets going into this one. Tough to overlook what the Giants have done lately. They put up 2 impressive performances. However, on offense, they've scored 9 and 14 points respectively. It's not going to do it up against the Jets team that can run. We like the Jets here 21-10. Looking at the numbers here, the Jets are favored by 3. Totals number is 36.5. That's so low, we're not going to touch that one, but we think the best play here, get that 3, buy it down, or do some line shopping, get the number 2.5 to allow an easy 3-point cover. Take the Jets. Jaguars at the Steelers, and in our preceding video, we had picked Pittsburgh here, but again, as the week went on, we're looking at key injuries to the cornerback position for the Steelers. 2 players are questionable, Levi Wallace and Joey Porter Jr., which leads us to pick the Jaguars here. We're not making this a best bet. We're concerned with the Jaguars' inconsistency, and Pittsburgh just tends to win those games they're not supposed to win. But let's look at the lines here. We've got the Jags favored by 2.5. Over-under numbers 41.5. We're going to say best play here, Jags -2.5. But watch this closely. Look at the injury report. See what happens specifically with Joey Porter and Deontay Johnson. If both play, we'll make this a non-wager. Falcons at the Titans. The Titans have had an inconsistent season after that surprising win over the Bengals. They've kind of laid an egg 2 weeks in a row. Falcons have been inconsistent as well. Desmond Ridder continues to turn the ball over too much. And against this Titans defense that really shuts down the run, that's not going to help them. So we like the Titans here on the upset. We are concerned. We don't know what Will Levis is going to do as he gets the start for the Titans. So watch out for turnovers there. But if we had to pick this game, it's not a best bet. We see the Falcons are favored by 2.5, which tells us try to get that plus 3.5 line. If you have to buy it up, do some line shopping, and take the Titans as the home underdog in this one against the Falcons. Eagles at the Commanders. Now you could say the Eagles are all set up for a letdown, maybe a trap game against the Commanders. The problem is the Commanders don't have anything that scares me when looking at the Eagles. If I'm an Eagles fan, I say, what do you have? Offensive line issues against that defensive front. Sam Howell's going to be running for his life, so we like the Eagles here 27-14. Might be a little lower scoring because of the letdown factor with the Eagles, but with their combination of the run and pass, we love them here. The Eagles favored by 7. We say the best play, buy that down or shop around to get that 6.5 number to stay off the key 7-point line for that one. Browns at the Seahawks. So the NFL came out and admitted they made the mistake at the end of the Colts-Browns game. Doesn't help the Colts any. Browns got a cheap win they didn't deserve. Going into Seattle, back-to-back road games. Too many injuries on the offensive line to go against the Pete Carroll defense. We like what Geno Smith's doing. We don't think he's shown everything he's capable of. And with Metcalf coming back, looking at the line here, Seattle favored by 3.5. The total's number 39.5. We like Seattle on the money line. We want to avoid that 3.5 line. If you can, get that down to 2.5. Otherwise, go money line on that play. Ravens at the Cardinals, and the Cardinals had an interesting start to the season, going 3-0 against the spread to start it out. Baltimore has looked great lately, although they did have a disappointing loss at Pittsburgh, crushing Detroit in a very windy game, which threw off Jared Goff's offense. We like them here 28-14. Look at the lines. The Ravens are favored by 9.5, which is a bit much. We like the under here if you can get 45. We like 45 as a key number, although we predicted 28-14 as a final. It also protects you against a 31-14 and some other good combinations. Kansas City at Denver, a rematch of the Thursday night game from a few weeks back. Denver looked a little bit better in that one, but we can't overlook Kansas City here. We think the Broncos might keep it close. 24-20, that might be a stretch. Looking at the lines, we've got the Chiefs favored by 7.5. That's a little high. The 47 over-under number. With snow potentially in the forecast, we think the best play is to take the under. If you can get the line up to 48, that protects against a lot of key number combinations, so look for that as a best play. Bengals at the 49ers, probably the best matchup of the week. Two great quarterbacks, two great teams. The runners-up from last year in each conference. We like the 49ers here, 27-17. We look at this game. We know they look bad against the Vikings. That's a mulligan. They have a lot of injuries. They should be coming back from that. We're not sure why that line is only 4.5. In our metrics, we have it should be about 10 or 11. I think the Bengals are getting too much love here. We like the best play here, the 49ers. Take the money line. Bears at the Chargers for the Sunday night game, and in this primetime matchup, we think that backup quarterback Bajan's going to struggle against the Chargers defense. We think Justin Herbert still hasn't played like what he's capable of playing. We think that's just enough to beat the Bears here, 38-21. We see them playing a lot better at home. At 2-4, it's got to be one of the most disappointing teams in the NFL this season. We think that this might be their last chance to turn around. So looking at the line, Chargers -9. The total's number 46.5. For us, the best play is going to be the Chargers -9 here at home. We could also potentially look at the under. We don't think the Bears are going to score that much, but for us, best play is Chargers -9. Raiders at the Lions. If you saw the Lions lose against the Ravens, what you saw was a perfect example of where an indoor team is going to struggle. Outdoors on grass in horribly windy conditions for a passing team. I'm not making excuses for them, but that's deadly for an indoor passing team, and that showed. The Ravens throttled them. Ravens were the better team. But in this case, we think the Lions are going to bounce back in the comfortable indoor conditions and beat the Raiders 31-14. Looking at the lines here, we've got the Lions favored by 8. Totals numbers 45.5. We think the best play is here if the Lions -7, if you can find it. Currently see 7.5 available at FanDuel. That's all the picks for the week, but if you could, look at our supplemental video, how the NFL lines are created. We use this Raiders-Lions game as an example. Check it out.
That's all for this time. Thank you for joining. Please subscribe to our channel, and we look forward to sharing our future videos with you.